What up guys, this is Kong and I'm back again for another movie review. Today I'm going to be talking about the highly anticipated movie, The Black Panther. I took my brother and my two brother and I to go watch Black Panther at the Dolby Theatre because I've never experienced a Dolby Theatre before, and this is my first time, and this is probably the only one that is close to my house where I live. And I decided to, you know what, hey, give this a chance to experience what is the difference between a normal standard show and then IMAX. I've been to many IMAX, so I know the experience, but I never experienced Adobe. So I now talk about the Adobe experience later in the this review, and just kind of give you my thoughts and about the experience. But let's talk about Black Panther. Black Panther is the character in Marvel Universe, Marvel comic book, and he is the king of Wakanda. You guys know this, so I'm not gonna delve into it. I'm just gonna go straight talk about the nitty gritty, about the pros and the cons, and the rating, and what I thought about the movie, and the experience about the Adobe. So let's get it. Let's talk about the pros. The pros, there's so many pros for this movie. That usually mean the director, the writer did a really good job of executing the movies. Let's talk about it. I like the whole cast. The cast did a wonderful job. They did the part. They were on their game. They were on top of it. You can tell by their performances. It's like they're on it. That they didn't slack. Like they did their part. They contributed to the movie, to the character, to the story. And I like that. And when you see that, you know that you are watching a good movie, a movie that the people involved contribute to it. And I like the relationship between T'Challa, his mother, his sister, his love interest, his general, the warrior ladies, and the other tribe. I like that the interaction, the relationship, it feels real, it feels authentic, it feels like what you would see if you were to go Wakanda and they were the people, the leader, how they were interacting with each other. They feel like they were the real character, real peoples. And I like that. It feels authentic. The key word is authentic. And that I like that. It doesn't feel fake. It feels like it's the real shit, the real deal. It was believable. It's not even believable. It's the real thing. I like the origin explanation by T'Challa's father. I love the animation. It feels very comic book like, and I like that. I enjoyed it. It's like a good summation of how Wakanda received the vibranium deposit, and I like that. And also how it shows how the vibranium has seeped into the I guess you should say the country of Wakanda, affected the life, the natures in there, and the peoples. So I like that that it affected the whole area. You see, I like the cultures, the language, the clothing, the building. They're all so unique. It feels like the society, this Wakandan society is fleshed out. It feels like a real world, real country, a real people, real society. Like, I like that. I really do. I applaud the directors, the writer, really fleshing out, and the production company to really make it the closing of Wakanda. That African color is really unique. Really unique, really African, and I like that. I feel like I love to see that kind of thing. You know, the world building is like really unique to Wakanda, to Africa. And I love that. I like that. It's like, wow, you guys did your homework. You did what it needed to be done to build the world. I like the unique technologies, the ship, the suit, the weapon. It's so unique, but it's empowered by vibranium, and that's cool. It's unique, and I like that. You know, they executed perfectly. They did a good job with that. It was in the realm of possibility, in a realm of believability, the realm of that you can actually build it perfectly. I like that. It wasn't far-fetched. It was believable. Good job. And I also like that the each tribes are really distinctive and unique in their own way, in colors, in symbolics, such as you have the gorilla, and they were a big man, and they wear the gorilla mask, and they had the gorilla personality, gorilla essence. And then you have the panther, or more the noble and honorable size. And then you have the rhino, the big, not the big, but they're really fast and shield. I thought I liked that. It's like each tribe are distinctly unique, and it was interesting. And then one thing I did not notice that the rhinoceros tribe. I call them the rhinoceros because they are the tribe that breed rhinoceros. And the blanket that they have is actually shield. I was like, wow, that's really unique and subtle at the same time. So that's why the tribes are really unique in their ritual, in their way of philosophy, the way of talk, the way of they move is really, 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 really good. It's like they fleshed out everybody, everything. That is a sign of a good director, good writer doing their job. So I love the women fighter. They're kick-ass. I love them because they're also beautiful but deadly at the same time, and they have that image, and I love that. It's so beautiful. The clothing of the women are beautiful. I can't believe it. The production designer, you did a wonderful job. I want to shout out to you. Whoever you are, you did a wonderful job. And then all the women at the ball, and I find them hot. Not hot, but I find them attractive and unbelievably strong women in my eyes. I feel like they are what every woman should be, a warrior, but strong warrior, an honorable warrior. And I feel like those women are kick-ass, and I wish we get a solo story about them, about the generals. And they also remind me of the Spartan, the 300s. It's like anytime I see any semblance to the 300, I give them kudos because they are the badass fighter. So kudos to the fighter women. You guys did a wonderful job, a wonderful performance. I hope someday you guys get your own movies about, becoming a warrior fighter. I hope someday. I'll watch it. And I'll bring my parents and everybody go watch your movie. But anyway, I gotta move on. I like the unique afterlife ritual, drinking the fluid of the vibranium or the flower seed, and then being buried under the sand and going to the other side and then T'Challa see this group of the few panthers, and you think it was animal, but it's actually it's the former king that had died and went to the afterlife. Now I find that was really symbolic, really on a spiritual level. And it's like, wow, okay, there's some really symbolic in a way, how life and death, and that there is no moving on, that there is just another part of the passages of life. I like that. I like the ritual. It's fascinating, really interesting. It's like, and I also like the fighting ritual. I thought that was really cool. Fighting on the edge of the waterfall, and then you have the warrior kind of like with a spike and say, hey, you guys gotta duke it all out until someone wins. I thought that was really cool. That was really, really tribal, really a ritual, really it's almost kind of like a right to become a man, or a right to win to become king. I thought that was really executed. It was beautiful done. It was really authentic. Andy Serkis as Ulysses Claw, that dude is crazy and is a rabid guy. I love his acting. It's really great. and I like to see him in other movies too, other than in the Marvel Cinematic world. I like to see him in another because he's a really good actor, and he deserves to have his own role. What else should I talk about? And this movie really addresses how what to be king, what it take to be a king, the issues, does one go to do to protect his people, his countries, and make the big decision, you know? And when you think about, like, we have presidents, right? And they have to make all the decision for the nation. It's like there's a lot more at stake than we actually realize. I would say Eric Killmonger, I would say Michael B. Jordan. He totally nailed Eric Killmonger. I think he's probably Marvel's best villain so far because he's fleshed out. He is a villain with experience. He is a villain with motivation. He is a villain with goals. And he's a villain who will do things, will do the thing that he say that he will do. And I like that kind of villain, you know, that do the thing that they say they're gonna do, have the backing of what they're gonna do, and he have the reason to do the thing that he's doing, and his experience. And I'm like, wow, he is really a good villain. I could see his point of view. I could understand his point of view. I could understand his experience. Like when I see that kind of villain and understand that kind of villain, to me, that is a good villain. It's not just a surface villain. It's a well-developed villain who is fighting the protagonist, who is the other Black Panther in these movies. He's more like a rogue panther, and T'Challa is more of a royal, honorable, and humble panther. So you see this is a duality in this movie, the yin and yang, the good and the bad. And I like that in such a subtle ways. So, hey, Michael B. Jordan, man, you did a wonderful job. Kudos to you. I hope you get more acting roles. You know, you did a wonderful job. I love for you to come back as Eric Killmonger because you executed so perfectly. All right, so let's move on. I like the subtle political tone. It wasn't like shoving your face, like right here. It was like subtle, but you get it. You understood what this movie was all about. And I like that they were able to mix it up with action, with the stories. It was well interwoven. When you see a movie that's well interwoven and had other messages, other tones, and other messages or moral lesson integrated without being broken up, that's when you know it's a good movie. The writer did the job. The director was doing his homework. And I keep saying that because you know a good movie when you can see and tell when it's a good movie. How things work seamlessly, that there's no breakup, doesn't feel choppy, it feels fluid. I like the humor, the line, the image were funny. I like that it wasn't overburdening. It didn't feel out of place. It felt right at the place, and it felt perfectly executed. It was like, okay, all right, it was funny. All right, let's go on. It felt like you were on the boat riding along with the crew. And I like that. You were on the journey with T'Challa and his ruling and his experience. Now let's talk about the con. There's a few cons that's usually a good thing. The less of the con, usually the better the movie is. So let's talk about it. Eric Killmonger was not in the movie, the entire movie. And I was just like, yeah, you watch this movie and then he shouldn't showed up and you're like, oh, this badass villain is here again? You know, it's like, okay, I wish he was in a little bit more of the sequence, a little bit more part of the movies, because he's such a really good villain and the actor did a wonderful job. So that's why I wish he was in a little bit longer. I wish I had more time screen. There's a lot of CGI in this movie. It's a lot of CGI. And there was some scene, it looked kind of fake. It doesn't look complete. It doesn't look real. And I guess that's the nature when you are dealing with CGI. It's hard to make things look real. The technology is getting there, but sometimes I think it's better to go with actual costume and just have the guy duke it out. The action was short. They don't even feel like action sequences. The fight scene didn't feel like it was choreographed. It would feel like a skirmish. The action didn't feel memorable. Didn't feel epic. Didn't feel like, yes. It's just like, oh, okay. It's like I said, it's just a skirmish. It's kind of like a schoolyard fight. It's not a schoolyard fight, but it feels like a schoolyard fight. It looked like a schoolyard fight brawl. So it's like it's not epic, especially when you have the suit of the Black Panther. Hey, you think is this gonna be duking out like, badasses, but we didn't really get that. And then the thing is that they could fight in the cave of the vibranium deposit in the dark with black suit. It just didn't really. It's hard to tell how the guys are moving. It's like I wish they were in the daylight. They were in the daylight, but I wish it would have been just nice to see the guy physically fight it out without the CGI. And I know they are good actors, and giving them fighting sequences, giving them fighting choreograph, I'd like to see that. There's a few gripe. Killmonger should not have died. I mean, I know he got stabbed right in the chest, right in the heart, but Wakanda could have saved him. I guess T'Challa could have saved him. Even despite that he's not actually a good human being. He does murder people. Yeah. So I wish there were some sort of salvation for Killmonger. I wish there was something, because his actors and this villain was really good. I'm like, I see his point of view. When you see the other side point of view, that means he's a good villain. The ending didn't really bother me. I understood his message. I understood the way he think about things. And when you see how the character think, the writer did a job. I keep going back to the writer, because the writer in this story, they really, really deliver. Let me see here. What do I need to say? Oh, also, they did not show Eric Killmonger's suffering, his bad experience without a father, without a mother. Show us that he was in foster care. Show him that he was in a gang. Show us that he was a thug lord. Some shit. Show his experience, his suffering, his sadness. That make him the man who he was. They did a great job without showing that, but it's just having that would support the main character, the villain, his motivation, his suffering. He even said it. That's good, but we want to see his suffering. When you see another person suffer, you know what they've gone through. And so, anyway, guys, that is the end of my cons and my pros and my cons. But I'm going to talk about the Adobe experience that I went through or sat in the theater. To be honest, the chair's a lot nicer. That's for sure. There seemed to be less chair in the theater, which is nice. You're not crowded with people, and the sounds are really good. The picture is questionable, maybe a little bit better, but the sound were better than the others. From my past experience with the regular theater, the sound was really pronounced, really there. You can tell it was really good. It was a good experience. I can see why they charge a little bit more for the Adobe experience. I would like to go to more movie at the Adobe theaters, just for particular movies, such as Ready Player One, maybe Pacific Rim Uprising, Infinity War, maybe Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. So I would pick the Adobe Theater for big, epic anticipated movies, because these big anticipated movies are gonna have sound effect. They are gonna be more. Because they have a bigger budget, they can have more. Like I said, sound effect, visuals, all that stuff in there. So, yes, I did enjoy going watching in the Dolby Theater. So the sound was really good. It was much better than your standard theaters. So that's my 2 cents on the Dolby Theater. I would recommend you go watch it in Dolby Theater. I think the sound experience would be much enriching for you, and it was for me. So let's talk about the score that I would give this movie. I give this movie a score 8 out of 10. It does have some flaws, but the flaw doesn't really hinder the movies. The movie itself is good. The message, the lesson, the action, the everything about the movie is good. It's a really good containment movie, and I really enjoyed it. A lot of people really enjoyed it in the theaters. Again, the theater was packed with all the seat was taken, and that's usually a sign that people want to go see this movie and think this is a good movie. So again, guys, I give the movie a rating at 8 out of 10. I highly recommend you go watch it. If you go watch it, it may be booked, because a lot of theaters are showing Black Panther, because it is a highly anticipated movie prior to Infinity War, and it is a good movie. The story, the characters are well developed, the villains are well developed, the conflict is there, the culture, the society, everything is well developed, is fleshed out like it was an actual real world, a real society that you can actually go and see. So kudos to the team, the director, the writing, the production company. You guys did a wonderful job. You executed perfectly. I hope to see Black Panther 2. I hope Killmonger make a comeback or something, but that's just me, But hey, you can always wish, right? Anyway, guys, I want to say thank you so much for your time and effort to watching my long ass movie review, because I want to tell you everything that's the pros and the cons about this movie, so you can make the decision to go, hey, should I go watch this movie or should I not go watch this movie? So I'm just here to give you my advice and my thought about each movie that I review. Again, guys, please like, thumbs up, share, subscribe, and browse my YouTube channel. There's a lot of content on there for you guys. Please check it out, and also press that bell button. It will help me and it'll help you to know that I got a review up for you guys. But anyway, most importantly, I want to thank you so much for your time and effort to watching my movie review again. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.